we're still the same spiteful, bitter people we were at the start. I think we've learned to become more constructive and learn to kind of channel our nihilism and our anger in a slightly more constructive way. But in all honesty, I think the bottom line is that those years when you're 16 to 22, they kind of inform so much of the rest of your life. You know, the music, the books, the films, they scorch onto your memory. And this new record is very much a celebration of that. The idea that it's not all-out war like it was when we started, you know, but it's still kind of the end of love. We are still the same people. We still feel.
Hello and welcome to You Love Us, episode 10. Now it's almost like there's some master plan here that this is the 10th album and the 10th episode. Some would call it a fluke, but welcome to Postcards from a Young Man. Hi Daz, how you doing, pal?
Good evening. I'm looking forward to this album, actually, having listened to this at the time and more often now. For me, it's actually not a bad record. I think it's it's definitely not an album fans talk about as much. But there are, or should I say there is, some gold on this.
Oh, I would completely agree with you. I think it's a... well, before we get into the album too much, I think one of the talking points for this album is the cover art. The picture of Tim Roth. I think it's a fantastic picture.
Was it a selfie before the word selfie was used?
No, it's part of I've completely lost my note on where it was. We seem to be being plagued, both of us, by technical issues for this episode. But I think it was part of a series by a bona fide pucker photographer.
I did hear that as well.
Yeah. It'd be nice to think it was a selfie before there were selfies, but Tim Roth doesn't strike me as the selfie kind of person.
You know what? I'd absolutely agree with that. And he's it's a Polaroid camera as well.
Yeah. So Postcards from a Young Man, 10th album, recorded between October 2009 and June 2010 started it off at the Faster Studios in Cardiff. 3 singles, over 100,000 sales, like you've already said. An album that fans don't talk about too much. Let's start talking about that, because I think there was a deliberate move with this album to try and make the Manics as accessible as possible.
Well, don't forget the classic line from Nicky was an album the band called their last shot of mass communication.
Yeah, that was it. And what was it? Heavy metal Motown.
Yeah, I did read that. I had a chuckle.
Yeah,
Nicky is a wordsmith, and it just proves he can come up with some great lines and lyrics.
Yeah. And it is unlike some of the other albums, it's an album which wears its influences very much on its sleeve.
Yeah.
You know, you can hear there's an awful lot of Beatles coming through at times, as well as Tamla Motown. And it's, I think it's a very good album. I've got no real issues with it.
Yeah. So Dave Aringa is back, and also the band produced it as well. Yeah. So I know I find this more of a follow-up to Send Away the Tigers. Obviously, they got... Jonathan Blake Lovers, I don't want to say out of their system, but no doubt they'd been thinking about that for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously, last episode, glad they did, because it's an absolutely stellar album. But I find this more of a follow-up to Send Away the Tigers.
Yeah. And I think Nicky Wire himself compared this album to, I think he must have been on a bit of an Aerosmith fixation at the time, because he said that Postcards from a Young Man was equivalent to Pump by Aerosmith, whereas Send Away the Tigers was Permanent Vacation. So
I have to admit, I do not get the love for Aerosmith. I'm sorry. I wasn't around in the 70s, and I know I can go onto Spotify and listen to that era of Aerosmith, but I was more of the era of the very late 80s, early 90s that I heard on the radio, Loving an Elevator and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and obviously that god-awful song from that movie, Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which no one needs to hear again.
No, I think the height of their fame was the MTV generation, wasn't it? The big bloated pop videos and the overly long guitar solos.
Oh, look, not to shit on Aerosmith, but they were kind of irrelevant in the 80s, and it was when they started. Didn't they work with Desmond Childs or something? It was definitely outside writers for those two albums that made them massive again.
Yeah.
So. And there's nothing wrong with using outside writers, but
no. But I think it was the Run DMC, wasn't it? It was the collaboration with Walk This Way that really broke them back.
Sparked them again.
Yeah. But talking about long, overinflated guitar solos, I would compare that to Guns N' Roses. I'm not a huge fan of Guns N' Roses, and obviously somebody from Guns N' Roses appears on this album.
They do.
Yeah.
What and how Nicky gave up playing bass on that song, and he doesn't even feature lyrics on it. Vocals on it.
I don't get it because Duff McKagan, he's an okay bass player. We'll get to the track in a minute. He's an okay bass player.
You wouldn't know.
But the part he's playing, the part he's playing is nothing that Nicky couldn't play. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
Exactly.
Really don't. Okay, so let's crack on with the track. So we're looking at the initial release, not the expanded deluxe version, which came a good few years later. So It's Not War, Just the End of Love, which is originally the working title for the album, is track number 1, and it's a fairly simple pop song. It's the first single, and damn right. I think it is a great opener. Yeah. It is. What did I put this? I said this is the blueprint for a few of their singles. See Your Love Alone and International Blue. Yes, definitely. Definitely. They just still know how to write a pop song. Yeah. They've got that knack pretty much. So, and this goes back to what I've said at each album. You get the opening track right, and the album seems to fall. It seems to follow, like that house of cards. It all falls in order. And I think where they got it right, and they get it right on most albums, where they get it right, the album feels more cohesive, more together. And I think starting off with this track, it's the only track I would have started the album with. Oh, it's an absolutely brilliant track. Yeah. It just shows, hey, 10 albums in, they can still write an amazing pop track. Now, did you see the video? Yes. You would have seen it. You just probably haven't seen it for a long time. Now, it features Michael Sheen, the actor, and he's playing chess. It does, yes. Yeah. It does, yes. Yeah. So I find the video has a deeper meaning. So it's how people can turn relationships into strategic conflicts. Think of it's not war; it's just the end of love. Yeah, definitely. So how people can turn relationships into strategic conflicts when the original feeling has already gone. Yeah. So, I would agree with that. And it's so there's funny always a meaning. Yeah. He's a great lyricist, and still 10 albums in, he can still come up with some amazing lyrics. It's a very much everything must go design for life. Big chorus, slightly overproduced. Bring the strings in, bring everything in. Gosh, I forgot to mention this is a very string-heavy album. Very string-heavy album, and choir-heavy as well. 4 tracks have got choirs on. That's actually true. Yeah, so that's one of the songs, which we will talk about later. Yeah. Helps a certain vocalist, and it's not James. Okay. But speaking of that mysterious person, Nicky has backing vocals at the 2-minute 35 mark because he just cannot say no. But it's like just a few words and that's it. He's in and out. But the thing is that it wouldn't be a Manics album without him just popping up every now and again. And he does, it's like we said before, he might not have the greatest voice in the world, but his contribution to the band it's irreplaceable. It's so important. He's a freaking genius. Love him. Yeah. Just needs to work on his vocals. Yeah. Okay. Track number 2, Postcards from a Young Man. I love this song. Great track. Third single as well. Yeah. And singles that pretty much, from a sales point of view, really missed the audience, considering it was a deliberate attempt to make an accessible album. Was this the first one to miss the top 40? It was 44. I think it charted that. Yeah, which is a crying shame, because if you look at the chart for that week, you would have put it an awful lot higher. Yeah.
because this was still at the time when singles were still released, part 1, part 2, 7-inch, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we'll get to some B-sides later. But there was something like 16 B-sides on this for this. Like, so it's another album plus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I do like this song. I think it's a great, it's very different to the first song, obvious pop song, Postcards. It's about looking back in time. No one says postcards anymore, do they? So I find this a reflection on, say, youth and dreams, even in this cynical world. It's the adults now, no longer youth. Yeah. So 10th album. So it's kind of like a look back in time, as I said. So great track.
And it is about it's an anthem about aging without without feeling bad about that. But it's the chorus where everything starts to almost like shouting defiantly. It's a great song.
Yeah, there's a line. Oh yeah, we can still be what we want to be. So it's like we might be a little older than Generation Terrorist time, but still what we want to be. And that's true. Like, there's no one like the Manics. Let's be real. There is no one like the Manics, even by album 10.
Yeah, I think that is an absolutely genuine comment. We can look at other bands that have come from Wales that have had at points in their career similar success, like Stereophonics. They got quite successful in the mid noughties, somewhere around about there.
Yeah, that was the time of Dakota. That was 2005.
Yeah, but they haven't maintained that. I don't think there's any other Welsh band. And then looking at British bands as well, I don't think there's anybody that's maintained the message in the song type writing that they have.
I totally agree with that, and I like the Stereophonics. I'll happily admit. Yeah. I saw they toured Australia in 1998. So there you go, and I saw them, and I've seen them plenty of times since. Yeah. But I got to say, when they released that first best of, which was it was not 2005. It was like late 2000s. So it was like after there was like Pull the Pin.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty good album. It was the one after Dakota, the Dakota album that whatever it's called, Sex, Violence, Other, whatever it's called. Yeah. Then they released the best of, and for me, that is their best period. So that's what. Definitely. 5 or 6 albums, brilliant. After that, massive fall away. Definitely. Some good songs, but so the whole point is they definitely fell away while the Manics still remain relevant. And they're still going. They're both bands still going. I'll see them live.
But the thing with Stereophonics, they will be relying on familiarity with earlier work, whereas the Manics can still rattle out 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks over a gig that are new or newish.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Okay, so track number 3, Some Kind of Nothingness. We got our first guest spot for the album by the ever exuberant, motivated, and highly lively Mr. Ian McCulloch.
Motivated. I do like that. Yeah, it's like he came in and did one take. Guys, done. Ian, you've got to do it again. No.
It's the Bunnymen are touring at the moment, and I really did think about going to see them. But his delivery is just so laissez-faire. It's, I'm sure he's passionate about the music, but he doesn't look engaged at all, and I struggle with that.
Yeah, first, second, and obvious single. Obvious. They're obviously going to release this. Obviously, they love the Bunnymen. They've talked about it. Wasn't their first ever show. Yeah, that they went to as young'uns. So, I've got to find. Yeah, I've got to say. Okay, so I saw Echo with the Bunnymen. Never seen them before. Saw them 3 years ago. Yeah, and just Ian still looked annoyed on stage, annoyed at his drummer, annoyed at his guitarist. I was just watching him. I was enjoying the show. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Will Sargent is doing some great stuff on his guitar.
Cool stuff.
But Ian was just annoyed at the guitar, and it's just the bass or whatever. It was like, Ian, come on, man! Aren't you too old for this shit? You kind of just sing the songs people want to hear and let us go home after 90 minutes.
Yeah, I saw the Bunnymen back in 81, 82.
No way. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and that was when they were at peak power, peak Bunnymen. And it was okay. You know, it was good. But I saw Will Sargent interview Budgie at Susie and the Banshees at a book launch last year. And Will Sargent was full of stories and motivation. And he sent out a couple of videos of the preparation for this tour where, you know, the band are playing really well, really tight. Ian McCulloch, nowhere to be seen for all the rehearsals. And you get the feeling he just rocks up, goes, blah, 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 and then rocks out.
So Will Sargent released his order. Well, he released two, didn't he? But the first one was only about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. And he did the circuit, you know, the promo circuit. And I reckon I heard him on the Rock on Tours, which is a great podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was just lively.
Yeah.
And I know he said, and I'm paraphrasing him. He was basically just saying it's like his relationship with Ian. Yeah. And the band, Nick and the Bunnymen, because they're the only two originals still in the band. It's just, you know, it's just to sing the songs. It's financial.
That's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
And he obviously enjoys it. And apparently he doesn't really speak to Ian much.
He said that they hadn't spoken for years and years and years.
It's transactional.
Yeah, and he got a phone call from Ian McCulloch just saying, hello, mate. And then they kind of started to get back into some kind of rhythm.
Read into that. I'm low on funds, you know.
Quick. So again, it's a really good song, but I don't get why James didn't sing it.
No, I find it. If this didn't have Ian on it, this would never be a single. This would be like track 11 or something.
Yeah. Totally agree.
It's an okay song. Yeah. Like, you know, it's got strings on it, really good. You know. Did you listen to the demo?
I did. I did.
And who did the vocals?
Well, it must have been James, surely.
No, Nicky.
No, was it? I didn't pick up on that because it sounded really good.
I couldn't believe it.
That sounded really good. That.
So Nicky's not even on it, but he sung the demo. So
that's strange, isn't it?
I know, that's what I thought. So, but what I read, it's a song about loss and grief. And what I heard is it might be about Nicky's dog he lost, as in passed away.
Yeah.
So I can't confirm that, but I did read that into it. So that's why I thought he did the lyrics as well. James, let me take this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the finished version, don't worry. Yeah.
It's a strange one, that, because it's a song that, for me, feels just a little bit too slow. I would have liked just to increase the tempo a little bit on it.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I've got a final note on this. Do you think this is a darkly lovely flip side to Some Kind of Bliss that the Manics with Kylie Minogue? Putting it out there.
That's a really good, interesting point, that.
Yeah.
Now, I really like that. I really like Some Kind of Bliss. I think it's a very, very solid song.
There you go. The Impossible Princess album. So, which got panned, by the way.
Of course it did. Yeah.
But now Some Kind of Bliss. So there you go.
That's a really good idea, that. So everybody can listen to the tracks back to back and then let us know what you think. Track 4, The Descent, pages 1 and 2.
I think this is a pretty good track.
Yeah.
It's probably more of a generic track on the album kind of thing. So it's track 4. So we've had 3 singles. And now, so it's obviously top loaded. Last Descent. So, what's your thoughts on this track?
I think it is, unfortunately, is it possibly the weakest track on the album? It feels a bit by the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
it feels like somebody's taken the Manics blueprint and gone, we do this, then we do that, then we do that, then we repeat this, and then we do that again. And that doesn't make it a bad song, but I think it's the weakest song on the album.
I find the guitar riffs just really basic, but they still make it sound like a pretty cool pop track. But it's the most. I'm not a guitarist, but when I listen to this, I go, "This is surely even I could play this.
Oh,
This guitar riff.
definitely. Yeah. Well, it's just an ascending. It's not a lot. So let's jump off that. Hazleton Avenue. Now I like this one.
Oh, for me, this is probably the most generic track on the album. I'm sorry to say, I put the dud on the album.
All right, it's something to do with the chorus.
I do like the chorus.
Yeah,
it's just, I think the first three tracks are good, even though some kind of nothingness. I think Ian actually does bring something to the song. You know, if he wasn't on it, it'd be buried. But then they've got these next two tracks, and I just think, Hazleton Avenue, it's cool. I heard it's about shopping in Canada. I don't know if that's true. Of all
the weird things to write a song about, I just like the fact that it's very, very string heavy again, and it just I just really like the chorus in it. I think it's got a decent chorus.
Look, for me, it's not. I don't skip the track. I don't skip any of these tracks.
No.
It's because the next track for me is killer.
And then we'll move on to it, featuring John Cale, Auto Intoxication.
I think this is a great deep cut. Track 5. For me, the guitars are back, reminiscent of the Holy Bible and Journal for Plague Lovers. I think it's like James is going, I need to break out of the last two songs, which is very simple, good tracks, but nothing fantastic. Auto Intoxication just kicks back in. Yeah. Just the urgency of his lyrics, the way he delivers is just, I'm just like going, I just go, this is it.
I think this is I think this, not from a production point of view, because production has moved on so much over the 10 albums, but I think this song could fit on Generation Terrorists quite easily.
I would throw it on just because I disagree, only because the guitar tone it's more harsher. Because I'd say it's like a in between. It's like the lead up to the Holy Bible. It's not a Holy Bible track.
Yeah.
It's not an afterthought of Holy Bible to Everything Must Go. It's one of those, could be a B-side off the Holy Bible, which didn't have many B-sides.
Yeah.
So just for me, it's that guitar tone. I went, I was getting excited. I'd love to hear this live. I wish they'd throw this back in to the set list, which will probably never happen.
I like the double-tracked vocal. Yes,
I did notice that. I was going to ask you if you heard the same thing.
Yeah. Really like that. Slightly, ever so slightly out of phase, just to give it a bit more texture.
I agree with that. I really think this is one of their best non-singles.
Yeah. And he really does let it rip.
Can you really hear John Cale on it? John Cale, by the way, has been credited as on keyboards and noise, by the way.
Yeah, I think I can hear some noise. I can't hear a great deal of keyboards going on, if I'm brutally honest. I think the guitar is pretty much all-consuming when he starts.
Yeah. You think, because there's keyboards on the next song, Golden Pelican, you'd think he would be on that one, but no.
Yeah,
I think that's Nicky doing the keyboards, piano.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about then Golden Platitudes. It's such a un-Manics intro.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Even when we get to the almost 1980s drum fill to bring the guitar in, it's.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great track. Like, nothing can outdo Auto Intoxication. But I think Golden Pledge is just a really great track. It's got piano. I believe it's Nicky. And it's got a weird fake ending as well.
And it's another choir track as well.
It's true. It's like they had to pay the choir on 6 songs. 6 songs. They did 6 songs.
We've got them for a day. How many songs can we squeeze in?
Exactly. But good mid track. it's where we flip the album, flip the vinyl. So
it is.
Yeah, it's good once you flip the album. I think because that was a thing, obviously not in 2010, but back in the day, when you flip the album, it was you had to kind of have a really good song.
Yeah. And when we flip the album, we go from a very Manics intro to Golden Platitudes to an even less Manics mandolin intro to I Think I Found It.
Yeah.
Which kind of caught me off guard at first because I thought, has somebody put Zorba the Greek on the wrong side of the album or something? It was, the first time I heard it, I thought, hey, I had to check that I was listening to the right track.
It is kind of weird, but because the mandolin intro doesn't last long, I wrote it doesn't represent the song at all.
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at
all. I love the energy of this track.
Yeah.
And it is another sort of guitar track as well. So just shows that, guitars are still prevalent and James still wants to play kind of, it's not heavy, but still wants to play kind of guitar and not play it safe like Lifeblood was, things like that, where you can't even hear the guitar. So
it reminds me a little bit, and I might get some flack for saying this, but it's got that little bounce to it, which might be a Travis track.
I won't even like that.
No, but it's almost folky in the way that the acoustic guitar is bouncing along in this track. Oh, we've fallen out, right? Okay.
Well, you say folk. What's the next album?
Okay, well we'll move off from my we'll move off from my crazy Travis slur onto A Billion Balconies Facing the Sun, which we've already mentioned has got Duff McKagan on it for reasons unknown.
Yeah, they've kept the energy going. So,
yeah.
I didn't mention that. I think I found it had a good energy.
Yeah,
and kept it going with Billion Balconies.
Yeah.
Look, obviously they love Guns N' Roses. Everyone knows that Generation Terrorists. They said it was a mix of Guns N' Roses and Public Enemy, and they did a cover of "It's So Easy" on one of their singles, which is a brilliant track by the Gunners anyway. But if you didn't know that Duff was on this, you wouldn't realise it was him.
No,
I don't think. He's a great guy. He's a great player. I've seen Gunners live. I've seen Velvet Revolver live, and in his sober days, he was just running around the stage, loving life. But the Guns N' Roses, they're not renowned for the bass lines, are they?
No,
it's Slash and Axl.
It's all root notes. Yeah, it's all root notes. Nothing else. So. No, it's funny because it's got Billy Bankley's has got one of the most Guns N' Roses guitar solos in it since Gold Against the Soul.
That's true.
Obviously, very heavily influenced by Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I just said the guitars continue. Yeah. So the mid part of this album is just kind of more guitars. Now, I read this song was about using technology or something like that.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell what these songs are about. But that's all I've got to say about that song. But I think I still think it's a brilliant song.
Yeah, and now we move on to All We Make Is Entertainment. Now I really, really get this song. I think it's got a really great energy, tempo, drive. The song moves along at a really solid pace. Great intro to it as well.
I think it's got the most Manics line ever. What is it? We're postmodern. We're post everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they sprayed that on their shirts back in the day.
Oh, I'm sure, or it was written on somebody's school books or on the back of a school satchel or something.
Because it doesn't sound like a 2010 lyric, even though it
not at all.
Perfectly well to this song. So the way I read this song is music is seen as a commerce. Devaluing art.
Yeah.
We have to now sell X amount of albums, even though it's album number 10.
Yeah.
We've proven what we could do with everything. Let's Go sold 1 million. Album after that sold 1 million.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, but it's like, well, we're in 2000. We're no longer in the 90s, so sell. So it's just all about numbers. But it's a absolutely great deep cut. This is a highlight on the album for me.
Definitely, and I think it is about worth. I think that maybe somebody's said to them at some point, what is the value of a band? And they've gone, well, we make entertainment.
Yeah,
and it's a clever little tagline. Actually, I'm surprised. I'm surprised nobody's lifted it and used it in an advert somewhere.
Yeah, but once again, it's very poppy, isn't it? It's
very, very poppy. Yeah. There's a little hint of Beatles somewhere in it, which I keep trying to capture exactly what it is that it's reminding me of, but it's evading me, as most things are at the moment. Time for the trumpet. Time for the everybody to take a seat, put the feet up. It's Nicky Wire time. The future has been here forever. I think this is one of his better vocal performances.
And I agree, but there's a caveat to that, because do you know why? There's a choir on this. And I listened to this a few times. I went, yeah, Nicky, he actually sounds really good on this. And I thought one of Nicky's better tracks vocally. Yeah. But then I listened to it again probably about an hour ago, and I just went, hang on, there's a choir. It's making it sound good. Yeah. No, but he does, it really does sound like he's trying to sing.
Totally. Yeah. And is this the only Manics track with a cowbell on it as well?
Yes.
I know it's a strange thing to notice that, but it's very prominent at the start of the song.
Got to have more cowbell, yeah.
Cowbells and choirs. But it's just a really good song. It reminds me a little bit of The Fall, but that might be Nicky's delivery is twisting my perception. Yeah. And the final track, Don't Be Evil.
A killer ending track.
Yeah.
Absolutely killer. Like, guitars are back.
Yeah.
I just said this is a great end of the album. Did you know Don't Be Evil is Google's motto? Don't be evil.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, they fail at that every day, don't they? Bloody hell.
Don't be evil. Yeah.
That is honestly Google's motto.
Yes.
That's like Meta having a motto of, we'll keep your data safe.
Yeah.
Or Trump having a motto of, I really meant peace.
There you go. Look, I just think it's the Manics just know how to write a great guitar. Like 10 albums in, like how many riffs can you think of? But they can James can just keep coming up with some great tunes. Like, I think he just writes the most simplest riffs, but makes them sound amazing sometimes. This is the perfect.
As I've said, he's one of the most gifted guitar players around, and has been for many, many years, and not just technically, but the way that he inserts those riffs and those lines that he writes at the right time. So many bands write a riff and go, oh, that's really good, that bit, and then just overuse it, and it just bleeds all the way through the track. James is just the master of knowing when the guitar needs to say something. He's so talented. And, long may it continue. It does change somewhat as we go into the next albums. We do get some quality control issues, maybe. Yeah.
We will get to that.
We will get to that. So this is an album which spawned many B-sides. Fire away, because I know there's a raft of them that you wanted to talk about.
No, we're not going to talk about them all because there's just too many. But we're going to start off with, and I'm going to butcher how to say this. So what is it? Ostelican or something? Osteliticon or something? You know what?
Keep trying.
I didn't even look at it. So the Manics have released this is an instrumental. The Manics have released a few instrumentals.
They have,
over years.
Yeah.
Mainly in the latter part of their career, mid to latter. And I just feel when they release an instrumental, I just feel that James is allowed to just, Nicky and Sean just, go your hardest, write what you want, because most of them are built around a guitar riff. I feel.
Yeah.
So I really like this track because it's got a muted guitar tone to it, and you know, and it's got this catchy kind of keyboard sequence that's, you know, that just shows two simple things, you know, make a great track.
Yeah.
You know? And this is always destined to be an instrumental. I could never hear lyrics to this song, ever.
No, it's funny that bands that we think of primarily as vocal bands, you know, bands that include all of the members, when they do instrumental tracks, they're really quite proficient at it, because Public Image have got a couple of instrumental tracks, and obviously John Lydon's well known for snarling and sneering. But like Warrior is one of theirs, which is a hell of a dance track, and that comes from a back catalogue which is fairly somber, I think is a way to do it. And then you get a track like that which is instrumental apart from one vocal sample in it, and it really does shine through. So there's something to be said about having instrument only tracks in your catalogue, I think.
And it's not a filler track. Like a lot of B-sides by many bands, they're just filler. But this one, no, it's like they cared.
Yeah.
It really did. And, you know, I'm glad I bought all the singles, because half of these aren't even on streaming. So
yeah. I think with an instrumental, sometimes it takes away that pressure to write the song in the structure of where vocals can fit into it.
That's actually very true.
Because the production is completely different, because you're making space in the mix for a voice, and having vocals sometimes changes the actual rhythm of a track. So just doing an instrumental is that lovely exercise of saying, we've got 4 minutes of solid music for you here.
Agree.
Cool. Next up,
Time Ain't Nothing. Nicky is back. So this is Nicky's lead vocal. I do actually like this track, but I'm sorry, Nicky. It would have been better if James took lead vocals. It just seemed more of a James lead vocal track. But, this is why it's a B-side, so that's why.
Yeah. I'm starting to get the impression that at some point in Nicky's future, he sees himself sitting in a Jim Jarmusch film. You know, next to Tom Waits on piano, and him trying to be a torch singer or something. I could just see him having that. You know, after the Manics, he becomes a crooner.
Yes.
Yeah.
but overall, a great track, and this is why bands write B-sides back then.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's a great exercise to write a song that doesn't have to conform to the album.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because particularly a band like the Manics, they have a couple of the albums have had rigid themes, but they do tend to have a theme around the album, a sense of what they're trying to say at that time. And having these B-sides is allowing them just to go, oh, this wouldn't fit on the album. This is such a good song, though. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Next up is Slow Reflections / Strange Delays. Now, for me, I got Generation Terrorist album B-side vibe on this, which is, I don't know if that's odd to say, but because when you're reviewing something, you think of a song differently, don't you?
You do. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. There was something about the way James delivered his vocals that just gave me vibes of Generation Terrorist. He didn't sing like it was a session from this album. So, but love it.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, once again, not a theme for Postcards.
Yeah.
You can do what you want with the B-side.
Yeah. And they did. It's a great exercise.
Next up is Inky Fingers. Now this is a bizarre track, bizarre in a very good way, because for me this is a bridge to Futurology. For me, this sounds like it's a session from Futurology, which obviously it wouldn't be because Futurology is obviously a few years away.
Yeah.
So it sounds very futuristic. For me, it still sounds like it's a session from Futurology. It's just something about the song. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that song at all, and like you've said, the pity is that there's so many of these B-sides aren't on streaming.
Mm.
And if you don't catch the single at the time, then you've got to go down a rabbit
hole. Yeah,
hole.
because I bought everything.
Yeah.
I bought everything, and it's obviously not that hard to find CD singles these days, as no one buys them.
Yeah.
But easy to find on, say, Disco.
I'll find that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Engage with Your Shadow. Now, this is the Nicky lead vocal. Now, this is a very odd track. It's a very experimental art. You know, he goes, engage with your shadow. Engage, yeah. For me, I just thought maybe Nicky was listening to some crap rock records from the 70s and 80s. You know, it's just a very, very different song, but it works. It would never fit on any album of theirs before this or after this. But for me, this is a true definition of a B-side. I reckon Nicky just locked himself in the studio and wrote this without the rest of the band. This is a pure Nicky solo track.
So who would you say that it sounds the most like then?
The thing is, I don't know much about like 70s. To me, it just had that vibe of, because I wouldn't say Kraftwerk, because Kraftwerk's a bit more electronic-y. Yeah. This is an electronic track.
Yeah.
But, I don't know enough about krautrock, but I just got the vibe of that kind of German before the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, and that would definitely link into futurology then, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Playing in a studio, playing in a live music, like a venue downstairs, 50 people are there and they're loving life.
Yeah.
And, you know, no one else knows about it but them. Yeah. And it becomes a hit 40 years later or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder if he was trying to do something in the Iggy Pop, Bowie kind of Berlin sessions.
Well, there's no rock thing about this. No. It's just,
strange. It's great that they can do it.
But it works.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing, because as we get to futurology in a couple of episodes' time, there is that definite krautrock influence there. Very strong. You know, some would say too strong in parts, but there you go. Do we have another one?
Kiss My Eyes for Eternity. This is actually a really good track. I feel this could have slipped on the album.
Yeah.
It's a James lead track. Just it's kind of a bit of a simple rock track, not guitar heavy, but just kind of a really, I don't want to say lovely track, because James really gives it his all on this, and that's why I thought, was this meant to be on the album and they cut it? It just sounds like it was from the sessions. So James, great lead on this, but it just shows even the B-sides he gives it all.
So what track would you replace if you put it on?
Well, on the time of CDs, which this was on, you could easily slip it in.
just an extra track as opposed to a replacement track.
Yeah.
So we mentioned folk before, and folk is I don't know, it's taken us well towards the next album, isn't it? Yeah.
Next track is Midnight Sun. I wrote this, another contender for the album. I'm turning this into
you're making this a double album all of a sudden, aren't you? This is you've revisited this and gone, you know what? There weren't enough tracks on it.
When you write 16, when you release 16, because there is a cover, when you release 16 B-sides, there's going to be some gold, I'm sorry. You know, there really is going to be some gold. And this is another one.
Yeah.
I said I just love this track. It's James delivers with just some great emotion. Maybe it was releases written at the same time as Kiss My Eyes from Eternity, the previous track.
Right. Yeah. Same kind of session, the same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Going between the two, yeah.
There's something about it. Like, you know, you don't say to someone, write me a hit song, because you can't just write a hit song. It could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday, it could be Sunday, it could be next week, that kind of thing. Yeah. And all of a sudden they just come up with an idea for a track, and I just think everything gelled for this. Yeah. But it was, all these B-sides are later, because back then all these B-sides were, all right, we've written the album, that goes to pressing, all right, the first single, let's write some B-sides. All right, second single, let's write some B-sides, that kind of stuff. And back then there was, as I've mentioned, CD1, CD2, there's a 7-inch. They're going to write almost 5 songs.
I wonder what happens to those songs now that don't make the cut.
It just seems crazy.
Because we're not getting B-sides now, are we? So
no. Do they even write them anymore? Yeah. Do they even write them anymore? Do they just write 10, 12 tracks and, all right, that's it, guys. That's it for the album.
Oh, wouldn't that be sad if that was how they did it now? We've got a target of 12 songs to write. Let's write 12 and they'll do. Yeah.
In the future albums, which we will talk about, when they do the deluxe version, yes, they put the demos on, but they have added on 1 to 2 bonus tracks. So could call them B-sides. Some are good, some are not, but that's what B-sides are. So a couple more. The Passing Show. Nicky's back. Now, it's not. Listeners might think I don't like his vocals. I do actually, because when Nicky sings, it's like okay, it's a Nicky track, so it's not going to be massively exciting. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. Like his solo album, it's not the best. I do listen to it. I kind of, it's kind of got character to it. So. He's allowed to sing some songs, but all right, this is the most bog standard of Nicky B-sides, but that's why it's a B-side.
He
could have fit on his solo album, his 2 solo albums he's released. So, yeah, and we can say that Record Store Day is coming up in April, and Nicky's second album, which he released 2 or 3 years ago, which was digital only, is getting released on vinyl.
It's getting released on vinyl,
and James Dean Bradfield's his first album from 2006, because it's the 20th anniversary, is getting a vinyl reissue, because the original is just worth a lot of money.
You try and find
it.
Going off at a tangent slightly, I was looking for, in November on Record Store Day, there was a re-release, or not re-release,
Black
Friday, Insomnia by Faithless. Was released. 6 remixes on a 12-inch on a Zoetrope. And I thought, I wonder what that's doing now. 180 quid. Well, thank you very much.
Seriously? What's going on?
That's one that won't be sitting in my collection, unfortunately.
No. I'll be picking up the James Dean Bradfield, but I would not Nicky Wires. I'm sorry.
No, I think we can say thanks, mate. Nice try.
Yeah,
but I think the thing that I really appreciate about Nicky, about the fact that he keeps on stepping up to the microphone, is so few bands have this constant member who is happy to do that. I know you got bands like McFly that swap their instruments and they play different songs different ways. But I just love the fact that Nicky does it, and he's never going to be a front man. But he seems to genuinely enjoy it, and I celebrate that with him.
And you know what you're going to get. And it's good. I do like it. Yeah. It's just when you've got someone called James Dean Bradfield singing for you, it's never going to be anywhere near it. Yeah. And the last B-side, well, it was. I don't think it was actually a B-side. I think it was like on one of those Enemy CDs that you got on the front of the magazine back in the day. And I think the band released it as a free download back in the day. It was a cover of The Horrors' Blurred Vision, which I think is a wicked cover version. It is amazing. Like, it's serious. The guitar tones, once again, remind me of the Holy Bible. Jennifer Played Lovers. I think this is a stellar track. It's actually better than the Horrors version.
Oh, right.
Yeah. This is like, because obviously the Horrors remix, Doors Closing Slowly off Jennifer Played Lovers. So this was, okay, you're doing that. We'll do this kind of, handshake kind of thing. But it is a great cover version. You wouldn't even know. If you didn't know the Horrors, you would think it was a Manics song. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is really good.
We'll have to dig that one out because it's. I think I've heard a couple of tracks by the Horrors, and I think, quite happy with that.
I was working at H&V when that first album came out, and people went nuts for it. That was when 7 inches was still a thing, so 20 years ago. And the album sold really, really well because they were really different. They were, you could still do things. It was before social media still, well before bloody TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of thing. You could still remain kind of mysterious, and they were. And Farris, the singer, used to wipe black, I think it was shoe polish on people's faces, so people would clamber to the front.
Yeah.
And want to be, But by the time the second album came out, the band had completely changed. They kind of changed into this alt rock, shoegazy.
Yeah.
The band. The first album was more like Nick Cave and from the early 80s. Not the Bad Seeds, but was the Birthday Party and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I did see the second album. They toured Australia. I was back in Australia by then, and I thought they were brilliant. They barely played anything off that first album, and I went, I love this second album. So this has more vibes of the second album, not the first. The first was quite raw, things like that, but there's nothing wrong with the band changing style on their second album. So.
Absolutely not, because they as they say with second films in a trilogy, the second one is the hardest to do, particularly if you've had a successful first one.
Yeah. So how do you rate this album overall?
Overall, very, very good. I'm getting to the point now with the Manics where I like getting myself into trouble, don't I? There's only one more Manics album that I go back to constantly.
After this?
After this, yeah. The others, if it's there and it comes on, I'll listen to. But there's only one album left, and I know it's not an album. I don't know. I'm pretty damn sure it's an album you'll have problems with.
Yes. I think everything after this is a band that knows its, really understands its legacy, but still likes to release albums. And there's some great tracks after this.
Yes. Yep.
Solid album. I'm an albums guy. I want to listen to the whole art form.
Yeah.
I just feel everything after this is not as cohesive as, For me, this is the last great solid album.
Yeah. Or for me, there's one more album which I can listen to beginning to end constantly.
We will get to that.
Go on, guess which one it is. Go on.
I'm not going to say.
We're not going to fall out just yet.
No.
No, but seriously though, it's a great album. It's got some really, really good songs on it. A couple of Wide Duff is on Billion Balconies. Who knows? Why didn't Nicky sing? Who knows? But yeah, solid album. Yeah, very, very good for me. Yeah. How about yourself? Happy with it?
Well, I remember talking about how the band clicked into version 2.0.
Yeah,
for me, this is the end of 2.0.
Fair call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an album I regularly go to, but I listen to it at least once a year.
Yeah.
Obviously, stuff like Generation Terrorist, Jennifer Plague Lovers, Send Away the Tigers, Know Your Enemy, Everything Must Go, Holy Bible, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly. I listened to Gold Against the Soul just the other day.
Yeah, me too.
It was. I heard it on another podcast. I went, well, let's listen to it. I heard their point of view.
Yeah.
I went, it is a good album. Some duds on the album, but it's a 10-track album. It doesn't overstay its welcome. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's a good driving album, I find.
Yeah. But I for me, if it's an album, I go, okay, what shall I listen to? And I won't always go for the obvious. Like, I know Everything Must Go and This Is My Truth are the biggest sellers. I rarely listen to This Is My Truth. I think it's got, I know we spoke about this, 5 great songs and the rest are I want to listen to an album in full, that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to listen to the obvious of the Holy Bible and Let's Go.
Yeah.
Because I know they're the biggest. I honestly go back to Send Away the Tigers, Know Your Enemy, Generation Terrorist, that kind of thing quite easily. Because I don't want to kill the vibe of the Holy Bible. I know that's definitely people's favorites.
Yeah.
For me, that is a listen when you're ready for it.
It's almost like inviting the vampire over the threshold, isn't it? Yeah, you've got to be prepared. You've got to, because it's not the easiest listen. Even all these years later, after you've listened to it dozens of times, it's still a complicated listen.
Yeah, and I don't often listen to their best of because I just don't want to listen to things out of sequence and things like that. So this album for me. I think It's Not War is such a great song, but Postcards from a Young Man and Some Kind of Nothingness, they were singles, but I think there's just better tracks on the album.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
Listen to Auto Intoxication, and I think I found it, Billions Balconies, All We Make Is Entertainment, Don't Be Evil. I think these are brilliant tracks that obviously they would never be played live, sadly.
Yeah.
And radio would never play them. So when I said it is kind of the forgotten album, it's because no one ever talks about it. It's got one killer single. Let's just talk about the singles. Yeah. And it's the one that only play live. So it will be forgotten, sadly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be back for the next episode for Manics 3.0. Where we have
I'm going to preface this by saying I did not like this song when it came out. This album, I should say. Next album is Rewind the Film. I did not like this album when it came out, and I have not listened to this in a long time. So I'm going to have fresh ears on this.
Me too. Oh. Yeah, there's one track on it that I listen to a lot because it's got Richard Hawley on it, and I really like Richard Hawley's voice, and I think it really sits well. But yeah, it's not an often visited album for me.
No.
So it's going to be good to listen to it again, make some notes, and go, I was right or I was wrong.
I hope I'm proven wrong.
Yeah. The thing is that what we should try and remember is that being a fan of a band it doesn't mean you have to say everything's fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about your relationship with the band is through the good and the not so good, and sometimes the downright bad. And the beauty of being a fan is that you can appreciate all of those stages of a band, and you're not being a traitor, you're not being unfaithful. That's how bands live.
That's true. And hey, a lot of people don't like Know Your Enemy, and it's in my top 5. So,
totally. Yeah. Right. Well, as always, thank you very much. I think we're both off now to go and kill technical demons. Kick them well and truly out the window. But as always, Daz, appreciate your time. It's been an absolute pleasure again.
No worries. Absolutely fantastic.
Thanks, bud.